Arrington in 2004 rushed for 2,018 yards and 15 touchdowns in 12 games. Now, if you do some math, that averages out to about 1.25 touchdowns per game, which I think CBJ could feasibly hit this season. He rushed for 8 touchdowns in 13 games last season, but that was behind the worst offensive line in the Pac-12 statistically, and they were marred by injuries. They should be much improved this season. And plus, Garbers, if you talk around the Pac-12, talk around the conference, Garbers is a very respected quarterback around the Pac-12, and teams will not just be able to load up the box and shut down CBJ. They're going to have to respect the passing game, and that could open up a lot of holes for Christopher Brown Jr. to score some touchdowns. And I could absolutely see him rushing for 9 touchdowns in 7 games, which would be more per game than Arrington. Maybe he'll get the chance to beat the 15 touchdown record in 2021 when there's hopefully a full season. But I think if we're looking at per game, that's not out of the question for Christopher Brown Jr.
I think there's some really interesting statistics and records that players could put up this season. It is obviously, like you said, there's always going to be an asterisk. It's just one of the unfortunate aspects of 2020. If you're thinking about on a per game average basis, people are always going to say, I mean, less games in a season. What does that show? What does that compare? But you can't deny that CBJ is talented and that offensive line is healthy and deep. But I'm not looking at the offensive side of the ball. You've been paying attention to Cal football the last couple of seasons. You know the offense has not been the it unit for this team. That could change this season. Jury's still out. They have 7 games to prove me wrong, to prove themselves a really great offense. And I think that's not out of the realm of possibility. But for me, we should be looking at defensive records here. So in the last couple seasons, both Jordan Kanashek and Evan Weaver have managed 22 tackle games. Those 3 of those games in particular have tied the Cal record for single game tackles. Shaylin said it. We're looking at a lot of single game per game records. And I think Coin Dang could shatter that 22 single game tackle record. He had 16 in a game against Utah. He is now the man in the box. Everyone's going to be afraid of him. He's bigger, he's longer, he's stronger, he's faster. You name it, he can probably tackle it in the Pac-12. I wouldn't be surprised to see him shatter that 22 single game tackle record, especially because he almost did it last season, and that was splitting the box with Weaver, splitting that linebacker spot with Weaver. I mean, now Coin Dang is going to be sucking up tackles. I can see him taking that single game tackling record for